All right, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Good evening, everyone. You guys are already here. What is going on? I'm so excited to connect with you guys today. Let me just make sure everything looks good and sounds good on my end. Of course, I want you guys to let me know if you can hear me. That would be so cool. I am going to make sure that we are live on Instagram. It is day 2 of our ShowBiz intensive, you guys. If you have been wanting to start a live show on YouTube or just live streaming on the whole, you're in the right place, friends. It's so good to see you guys here. I'm so excited for what we are going to cover tonight. Do you have your notebooks? Do you have your water? Do you have all the things that you feel you might need? Because we're going to get into some things, right? Hey guys, oh my gosh. Hey Nicole, how are you? It's so good to see you guys here. Hey Dr. Cheryl, hey Migs, hey y'all, what's up? How are you guys doing tonight? We are live, we are direct, we're in the building. I'm a little cozy tonight. I'm like, you know what? Let me just vibe out and show up and really get into some things with you guys because I feel like a lot of us do want to start a live show. So we figured that much out, but we don't know exactly probably what we want to talk about, how to differentiate ourselves from what is going on out there. Even things like, girl, how often do I show up? Like, who am I talking to? Just all the things. And if you are thinking all these things, like Zaylee, I don't know what to talk about. We are going to cover that today. And we also have a live tomorrow as well. It is day 3. And you got to come to day 3 because that's where I'm going to cover all of the really in depth details that we usually do not think about, right? But we're going to get into some things tonight. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Dr. Cheryl said yesterday was amazing. I'm so glad you were here, ready for today. Okay, y'all. Hey, is anyone on Instagram? Maybe you guys are. I think I'm streaming to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube tonight. Of course, if you do want that full experience, you want to make sure that you do head over to YouTube. That is where I can really see you guys, see your comments and all the things. I do see Instagram sometimes, but I feel like it's glitchy sometimes with pulling in Instagram comments. And of course, I want to feature you guys. This is your show too, okay? Like I said yesterday, you run the show. All right. So I'm going to make sure I'm all set up and we are going to jump in. Of course, my computer is going off with text messages. You know what? When you are going live and you're live streaming, things are going to happen. Okay. Like, and I think that is the part that most people are always concerned about or nervous about. Who in here feels like that? Like, Zaylee, girl, listen. I feel you on going live, but what if something happens? What if I say the wrong thing? What if my live stream freezes? If you've been around here for some time, sometimes things like that do happen. And all you have to do is simply continue with the show. Okay, Rio's bringing me some water. Thank you so much. Just in case I get a little too parched, it's always good to have some water. Okay, so I am preparing to share my screen. Live is the best. It really is, DJ Infinity. Live is just such a great way to connect and communicate. And we covered a good bit of that yesterday, right? But it's also the best way to really show your authentic self. And that's what people miss out the most on, right? We're trying to be perfect and be completely edited and scripted and all of those things. And we discussed yesterday that those things are kind of, we're not buying all of that anymore, especially with AI being into play. We love AI, but this is the time that we need to really show up and shine. Hey, Shakima. Hey, hey, hey. All right, y'all. So I am just getting prepared to share my screen. Of course, you guys know I use Canva. I love Canva. Who uses Canva here? Canva has been so good to me for so many years, and I just can't. It's a part of the show now. Hopefully I am looking okay and everything seems to be on track. Hey, Judy. Hey, y'all. Okay. So we are on day 2 and we're speaking about the one thing you must do to ensure that your show is a success. This is really important. So you want to lean in and take notes for sure. Of course, we are hosting a giveaway. You guys know I love me some tech, and we are giving away an Amazon gift card to, be able to contribute to your studio or whatever it is that you are building out as it pertains to video. So please make sure that you do these three things if you do want to enter. You want to engage here on the live. I want to make sure that I'm seeing you, that hopefully I saw you last night, tonight, and tomorrow, of course. You also want to make sure you take a screenshot maybe of the best part of it or something that really impacts you or just the class in general. And you just want to share on your stories and tag me and tag Brave on Video. Rio is also dropping the wait list for my live streaming challenge, where I am going to be going live with you and my Spotlight Studio community for 5 days in February. And so, if you are interested in going live with a community and all of us working together and going live together and figuring out all the mess together, we're also including 3 bonus live Q&As. So if you have questions during that time, you'll come to those Q&As and we'll answer all of your questions as it pertains to live streaming, tools, all the things. So you want to make sure that you are in. Mitsuzi, yes, girl. Hello. You never know, right? So I want to make sure that I do share that. And so he's dropped that link right there. Okay, so a few tips for the workshop if you want to get the most out of it. You guys know how I do. You want to open up your mind. So this is the Brave on Video studio. We're all in the studio together, right? And so I want to remind you that when we're in this space together, when we're in the studio, we are our most brave, bold, and best selves, okay? The version of ourselves that's nervous about all of this, nervous about judgment, nervous about something breaking or all those things, that version does not exist when we are here together. And I want to remind you of that. So you want to open up your mind and you want to dream big. Okay. Last year I did a class and I showed you guys like how I built my studio and how you can build your studio. And I referred to my studio as my wealth portal. And I refer to it as that because it's completely changed my life. Being on camera has changed my life completely. And that's what I help other people to do. Your wildest goals and dreams, we can't accomplish them by being on camera. Okay, so I want you to pay close attention so that you do not miss a beat and take lots of notes because each day connects to each other. So if you're here tonight and you haven't watched yesterday, go back and watch it, friend. I promise it's going to be worth it. Tonight is going to be worth it and tomorrow is going to be even better. So I want to make sure I share that. If you don't know who I am, hey guys, hey, I am Zaylee Barclay. I'm a camera confidence coach. My goal is to help you get really visible. That is what I care about. I care about you showing up, you being visible, you making more money than you ever thought you could, you building the brand or business that you go to sleep every night dreaming or thinking about. And I just want to remind you that you can do it. I'm here to give you all of the tools, all of the tactics, all of the understanding on how you can show up and stand out and really build something meaningful. Even if you think you can't, and even if you think it's hard. I've worked with people just like you. I work with people just like you every day. Hey, Gary, how are you? Right? So I just want to make sure to mention that. Now, if you know me, you know, or maybe you don't know and you're meeting me for the first time, I have worked with so many beautiful companies. I've had so many beautiful long-term and short-term partnerships, and I run a membership with my husband. We live in Dallas, Texas, and all of this came to fruition. And I still can't believe that this is what I get to do. This is what I get to wake up to do every day. It really still blows my mind. Like you can ask him, like we talk about this all the time. Like what the heck? Okay. And so our goal is to travel the world more. It is to create from wherever we are, wherever we desire. And so, that is something that we are actively working towards. And we currently do it because we travel a good bit, especially when we're at conferences, when I'm speaking somewhere, all of those things. So for the past few years in my life, it has been a roller coaster. If you probably also have met me on Thinking Color, which is a conference that I co-created with Thinkific to highlight entrepreneurs of color over the past, this was years ago. We did it for 5 years. It was an annual conference and we built it from the ground. It's one of the things that I'm most proud of today. And a lot of people have found me this way. Okay. I was out there rallying for people of color because we deserve. Okay. So on day one, we covered a few things, right? And I want to just make sure that I can see my screen. I have you guys up here, and I'm like, I want to make sure I'm seeing the comments as well. Judy said yes, thinkific. Exactly. Okay, so hold on, y'all. I am skipping slides. If you don't know, I'm always singing. I have so many windows on my screen. That is what it is. So I'm just clearing up some of those. Okay. So on day one, we spoke about what it means when we speak about an online show or an online live show, right? We also spoke about 5 types of profitable online shows and why you should start your own. Like, what does it do for you? How is putting yourself out there one of the most amazing things that you can do? And we spoke about the breakdown or business of online shows and what that can actually look like, right? So, what a show can do for your business in general or your brand in general, even if you're building a personal brand. Today, we're speaking about the 2 major C words and what they really mean for your online show. We're going to break down 2 words that people just don't take seriously enough, but it is going to be the heartbeat of all that you do. Of course, I'm going to give you a checklist for researching and validating your show in 10 minutes. We're going to do that together. And we're going to speak about the one thing that can change, especially if you are really thinking about having your own show. And it's something that a lot of people just don't think about. They don't take this into consideration. But of course, I want to know you, friend. I told you this is your show. You're running the show. If you're here, you're watching the replay, you run the show. So I want to get to know you a teeny bit better. I want to know what major objections do you have about having a show or having a live show? Hey, Kaniqua, let's chat about it because I feel like this is so important. If I speak about like objections that I hear all the time, they might be Zaylee. I feel like I don't have the right equipment and things to have a show. Zaylee, I don't have a personality like yours. My personality was not always like this on camera, guys. I'm actually, if you meet me in person, super, super shy. I am the wallflower. If we're in a room together, unless I'm hosting or leading, I'm usually very shy. And if I am hosting or leading, I am like stuck to my husband, like, because I'm shaking, right? Because I'm so shy, but I know how to do what I have to do. Okay. That's what has gotten me this far. So if you think you have no personality or like, girl, I don't know if I can do this, you absolutely can. It is a muscle. Right. I want to think about what other objections I usually get. And you guys let me know as well. Hey, Camila. Hey, y'all. What other objections do I get when it comes to starting a show? I feel like I get, I don't know what to say when I get on camera. I feel like I do get that a lot from people, right? What else? Let's see. I do have some here. I get, okay, hold on. Let me go back here. Yes, the PTO nomad. You did mention this, right? You said support, right? Personnel or support need help with your current workload. Okay, this is a really, really good one. And it's something that a lot of people think. A lot of people think that you have to have all the things, all of the support if you do have an online show. And I'm here to tell you, you actually don't. So even if I give you my flow or run of show, here are some things that I'm usually thinking about. I'm going to ask Rio to turn the heat down because I am frying in this sweater. Uh, so, okay. So, and this is something that I'm covering inside of our live challenge. If you are interested in it, I'm giving you all of like everything. You're going to get all the behind the scenes of how I run my show and all of that jazz. But I do want to leave you with this. So as long as I know what I'm speaking about, the first part of my show starts with research. And I want to preface, even before I dig in, the thing that I do want to mention to you guys is that if you have a show, it is usually the cornerstone of the content that you're creating. So I want to know in here, who in here feels like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out something to talk about, or reels, or I have to figure out, like something to talk about every single day on social media. One, I want you to let me know if that is you. And I also want you to let me know if you feel like, and I talk about all these things and I post all these things and I share all these things, but none of it is really leading back to anything. It's not really leading back to exponential growth. It's not really leading back to growing my email list. It's not really leading back to me making money in business daily. I want to know from you. And so these are the things that we want to start thinking about, right? When you have a show, the coolest thing is that you can think about one topic per week that you could really think about, deep dive, and cover. And of course, when you're doing your show, you're going to have different aspects of that or parts of that. And when I'm planning my show, I like to think about the short form content that could come out of it that I can also disperse that week from my show, from my live show, right? Or even if it's a pre-recorded show for you, it's the same kind of thing. It's the same concept that I want you to think about. So what it does for me is I have a cornerstone of content, and then I can get content, whether it's threads, whether it is sales content because I'm launching something, whether it is just different mediums of things. I am able to have all of that go out as well because I've done the work for my cornerstone show. Here's the other thing. You get community feedback. That is priceless. A lot of times we're creating content alone. That community feedback that you're going to get is priceless. Okay. And if you don't have community feedback just yet, of course, you can look online, look at comments that people are making and answer those comments. You can bring up topics that are happening online or in your industry into your run of show. Like there's so many different things that you can do as well. So that's the first thing that I do want to share. It eliminates a lot of that. So when you work out your show and you do your research and you figure out what you want to share and what you want to talk about, your next thing would be, of course, choosing your platform or knowing what platform you want to share this on. For me, I love YouTube because I can put SEO into my show and have it work for me on the back end forever. If I want, I could leave this up forever and let it attract people to me. I have videos that have been doing this for me for many years. All the things I've shown you, please know I don't have a million subscribers or even 500,000 subscribers or followers or anything like that. So you can also do this with a small brand and see the results if you do it correctly. So even me doing this show, I'm currently using Ecamm Live to stream. I also sometimes use Riverside to stream because Ecamm is Mac only. And so I set this up, and as long as I have my steps, like I know I need to create a thumbnail, and even after the show, I'll go in and change those things, right? You can start your show by yourself. You do not need a whole team to start a show. So I think it's just managing your expectations of the show that you want to start. And remember that your show, even my show, is not going to look this. It didn't look the same years ago. Let me just first start off there. And it's not going to look the same in a few years either. So I want us to be okay with starting small, but starting is the key. So that's one of the things, the PTO Nomad. And I have so much that I can tell you, but I want to keep us like on track for class tonight, right? Let me see what other objections you guys get. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Thought you'd say you're AI. Do I look like AI tonight? I hope not. Hey, Gil. Okay. Judy said, not sure my energy level will hit the mark. Better in person and speaking naturally. Completely get that, Judy. However, if you are still doing grief coaching, your energy it's not going to be like my energy, right? Like you have to. Let's also remember that we can set the pace and the tone ourselves. And we're going to talk about that today too. You are you and I am me. So because I present in one way, you don't have to present in the same way I present, which is why when we think about branding, when it comes to a show, you want to think about little things like that, right? So, even though you might look at other people and think that you want to replicate what they're doing or you want to have their energy, you don't. And I think if you don't have, this is a beautiful thing. If you don't have this kind of energy, or you don't, and I don't always have this kind of energy, by the way, but if you don't have this kind of energy, you have to lean on your strengths. Your strengths might be, I have a really good plan for my show, and it's going to be a bit slower and I'm going to take my time, but you're going to get so much value out of what I'm sharing. And you got to say that. You got to say these things, right? You're in charge of the show. You can say what you want. So the thing about it is, when I think about my energy, I think about it's 7:52 p.m. my time, and I know that people had a long day, and I'm so blessed that you guys are here watching this with me, right? I'm so grateful. And for me, I'm thinking I got to keep you guys up. Okay? You might do your show in the morning when your energy is a bit more level or calm, or like it's going to be different for you, and I want us to lean into how different our own shows can be, right? So Judy, I hope that helps. Tanisha, we're going to talk about not knowing what to say. That is definitely one that we do talk about. Kaniqua, do we need slides or presentations or visuals? That is preferential, Kaniqua. So usually my show, okay, and this is the other thing. I told you guys I'm restarting my show. I used to do this years ago and I'm bringing it back. And so I'm not always going to have slides or visuals. So even as I'm starting, if you attended Monday's show, Monday was a test show for how my live show is going to be moving forward. And I didn't have any slides, right? Now, what makes it easy is I pulled up all the screens that I would need. Like if I saw a thread that I wanted to talk about, or if I saw something that I wanted to expand on, I just showed it on my screen. So I didn't do slides. I'm doing slides because we're doing a workshop. It's free. We're doing an intensive. You guys know how I do when I'm teaching. That's a bit different. And so as I move forward, maybe I might not, but it's not a requirement. Okay. The PTO nomad, I need an editor bad. Oh, girl. Well, if you're doing a live show, I'm not editing. So I'm going to, tomorrow, I'm releasing a video on riverside.fm, and I'm in it. You can edit. It edits for you as well. And I'm going to walk you through all of that in that video. So if you're not on the YouTube channel and you want to create a show, make sure you're on the YouTube channel because that video is being released tomorrow. I want you guys to see it. It also covers editing because you can edit in their platform as well if you're not ready for an editor. If you're ready for an editor, then, there are editors on Fiverr. There are editors. My husband edits at times, but he's very picky and choosy with his clients. So you just got to find someone that is able to edit in the way that you desire. Mix said learning how to plan an engaging live stream. I think sometimes we overthink that. Of course, I think one of the most important things is knowing what your hook is. When we're thinking about a live stream, I love choosing a topic that people are going to be really interested in. And it's also based on what's going on in the back end of my business as well, right? So if everyone is speaking about something specific, I want to join that conversation, but on my platform. This way, I bring more people to my platform. So I think the most important part of your live stream, if you're going live, is your hook. See, when people come on live and they're just sitting around and they're waiting for people to get in and things like that, no. Why? Because that affects your replay viewers and your replay value. You want to make sure that you're thinking about your replay viewers from the top, right? So when people come in, you start the live and people will come in and catch up. And people come into my live streams all the time and they're like, I'm late. What are we talking about tonight? It's okay. So start your live stream because you are thinking about the value of the replay as well. Okay. Hey, Legacy and Lens, objections or roadblocks, an environment conducive and supportive to my creativity and goals. You can start your live show with your phone. I literally started live streaming with my phone years ago. So if you are able to find a quiet place and do it there, you can. And I think libraries have so many resources now. You never know. Like if there's a room at the library that you can book for a certain time, you might be able to do it there as well. Not sure if that's what you were referring to, but yes. Kaniqua said, I think another objection, should it be consistent day and time every week? Absolutely. You do want to do that. That is something that we tend to run from. And I think I covered that in an email last week. Commitment is the biggest thing that we are afraid of. But it's just like the gym. If you are on a journey and you have specific goals, you know that you want to hit the gym before 11 every day, or when you give yourself time to waver, you start falling off your goals. And that might sound harsh, but it's true. I wish I could say it's not true. The other reason is you want to make sure, if when we think about television programming, like, that's not happening whenever they feel like. You're building your live show for your community. And so if you build it correctly, they know that you are live at 9 p.m. on Monday. And so you want to think about things in that way, right? 9 p.m. on Monday, they know, oh my gosh, Sally's live. I'm not going to miss that. I don't care what is happening in this world, but I want to be there on that live stream. It's the same thing for you, Kaniqua. But if you feel like you want to get into the groove of it, you could start off randomly practicing at first for sure. So don't let it keep you back if you can't make a decision. However, it's definitely going to help. Stony Grandma, hello. I'm an improv comic. I did really well on TikTok Live, want to move to YouTube, but I'm not used to working with small or no audience. Ooh, that is good. What about reaction? Oh, you said improv comic. Um, Ooh, that is interesting. You're going to have to find a way to react. And if you want to build it, you're going to have to do it. I will say, however, if you are on the shorts feed usually has more traffic than the horizontal video on YouTube. The shorts feed on YouTube is kind of like TikTok. And congratulations for wanting to shift and build on more stable land as well. But yes, the shorts feed is a great place. And start an email list so that even your TikTok people, they're going to know, okay, she's going to go live. Let them know before you go live. And, you never know how it's going to turn out. Let me see. Okay. Being consistent. Yeah, it's scary. It is scary to, create that consistent time. But this is what I want to tell y'all. If you have a business that you're serious about and it is your bread and butter, you're clocking in at a specific time, right? Especially if you have a team. If you have a 9 to 5, you're going to work at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever time it is. Like, why can't we also do that for ourselves? I'm just saying, if you have a client and you told the client you're going to be there at 3 p.m., you have to be there at 3 p.m. It's a commitment, right? It is the hardest thing to do, but it's going to bring you so many rewards. I promise. Okay. So let me see. Yes, Gil, Ecam fam. Okay. Let me just make sure that you guys are okay. Thank you so much. I've heard people say I need to speak fast to retain views. That's a lie, Faye. Lies. I think the key is, especially when you are live, recapping and making sure that you're reminding people like what we're doing today, so that people can, because when you're live, people come in and they drop out, right? And like I said before, that hook is really important too. You do not need to speak quickly. And after a while, when you start to garner people and they are regulars, it helps. People sometimes talk fast because they're nervous. I'm Trinidadian, so I speak fast regardless, right? But you don't need to speak fast to retain views. Okay, let me see. Yes, legacy and lens. Absolutely. I have some videos coming up on Riverside soon. I love the live with no presentation vibes because I was doing that and it's going to become a roadblock. So if you do want to have slides and presentations and things like that, that's where I would go back to the PTO nomads concern of needing support. You would need to have someone prepare that in advance so that it's not becoming a roadblock for you. But if you do feel like it will become a roadblock, you can definitely eliminate it and just do screen shares around like what you're speaking about. That really is helpful because people like to see things as well, right? Hey, Anthony. Okay. Let me get right back into it, you guys, so that we can jump in. Oops, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me make sure I have the correct screen up. Okay, here we go. All right. So maybe I'll start small with a once a week and build up my consistency. Yes, and keep yourself to that, guys. Of course, I hate to ask this, but I do have to ask this. If you're here and you're watching, if you can like this live, that would mean so much to me. It would help me even know that what I'm sharing is helpful for you and it's doing something for you, because that is something that I would love to know. So if you're here, I would appreciate it if you do. And thank you so much for being here anyway, but I appreciate if you like it. Okay, so and that's if you really like it, by the way. Okay, so a lot of people have different objections and ideas, and so we kind of went through some of those, which is good. And it's so funny because some of the pre-planned talking points I had, I feel like we covered them. Like time probably doesn't permit to, or thank you, Nicole, thank you, Gil. You guys are so awesome. Or I don't know how I would keep my viewers or listeners engaged. I don't like the sound of my voice. That's one I hear all the time. And personally, I don't watch my content back because I at first did not like the sound of my voice at all. And of course, I don't have a huge following to promote or share with my show. That will come as well. Right. Okay. So here is what is keeping you back. And we literally just spoke about this. You have not committed to the long game. Okay. Or the bigger picture. A lot of us are only thinking about right now, and we're not thinking long term. The people who start doing this, you will see those people as the next wave. I hope you're listening to what I'm saying. The people who start this are going to be the next wave of people that everyone knows. One. Two, you're going to see a lot of bigger creators, educators, people in the industry. They are going to start to do this as well. When it happens, don't say, Zaylee, you never told us. I'm telling you right now what is going to happen. If you've been around me, you know I'm always ahead of the industry. Okay. Always ahead. And so I want to make sure that I'm sharing that. And another reason why I know people are going to start doing that is, first of all, right now, I'm actually in a community doing a program with YouTube based on live streaming. We're doing a few things, right? But a lot of these platforms want to nurture some of these features that they have. And so when I look at YouTube, I was talking to my assistant yesterday, and as we were speaking, it's so crazy. I was showing her my YouTube, my channel page, and I was showing her that on the channel page there is there's video, so there's long form video, there's a podcast tab, there is a shorts tab, there is a post tab. What other tabs are there? There's a shopping tab if you have a shop or store. Like every kind of like it's its own little hub, but in an organized way. Any other place that's our social platform, things are so confusing to find all of those things. Does that make sense to you guys? But if you look at your YouTube page is actually designed to be a snackable hub where people can get different aspects of you in one place that is not confusing and overwhelming like the other people. That's why the other people are starting to try to launch TV apps and things. Okay? Yes, the live tab. Did I say the live tab? How could I miss that one? The live tab. Yes. Right. And it's all there for a reason. It's there because they want us to use all of those things. Okay. So I want to remind you guys of these things that are happening. Okay. So the other thing is you're probably being held back because you're watching other people materialize your own ideas. Who in here is seeing other people doing what you say you want to do? So you might have an idea. So let's say I had the idea to bring back my live show. And then I see someone else do it and I'm like, damn, they're speaking about what I wanted to speak about. They're doing what I want to do. Like, I want you guys to think about that like so differently, because a lot of us have the knowledge, especially the women that I work with or the men that I work with. They are seasoned. They've been in the game. They've been doing their thing. And so the crazy part is they're seeing other people share wrong information or just sharing what they want to share, right? Are we hungry? We're talking about snacks in the chat, right? But the thing is that a lot of us are stuck in that inaction or fear of if this doesn't turn out right, instead of deciding it's going to turn out right and asking yourself, how do I have to move or navigate for this to work, for this to turn out right? Okay. And so that's the thinking that I want you to start having. The other thing is, you might think that your show has to be perfect from the start. You might think you have to have a like the Wendy Williams show. It has to look like the Wendy Williams show from the start, right? And that's not the truth. Migs, we're going to speak about that in tonight, because I need to talk to you guys about that as well. So, and the other thing is, you've probably forgotten that with a show, you're actually going to change people's lives with your idea, whether it's one person, 1,000 people, or 1 million people. If you are going live every week for the next year, your life is going to change, and you're going to change other people's lives as well. Right. And Nicole said, as a career coach for women, I see it all the time, but I have to remember that I offer a completely different perspective and value. And that is why you have to show up specifically. Okay. I love that, Nicole. Thank you for sharing. Then a lot of us are actually afraid to commit to the growth and to the audience by providing a date and time. How did I know you guys were going to say some of these things? And a lot of us are, right? We're afraid to say, "Hey, I'm going to be live tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and I'm going to do that every Thursday so that I can connect with you guys." You have to put yourself in a posture of service when you're doing this. I think a lot of us are not thinking from that place or space. If I have a shop or a store, I have to open up that shop or store every day. Right? So this is my shop or store. This is the way that I open up my shop doors to say, "Hey guys, you want to get confident on camera? You want to change your life? You want to change your business? You want to change the way that people are looking at you? You want to change people's understanding of you being an industry leader and take that from the back end with nobody seeing it over to the front end?" Yes. So Kanikwa said, "We feel seen." You have to open up your shop doors at a specific time. And I'm not asking you for every day, baby. I'm asking you for once a week. Because a lot of us are taking weeks to post a reel or a carousel or a graphic post on Instagram, right? When if you post one live stream for the week, you've satisfied, that blows everything out the water, because you can actually extract from that and have 5 reels or carousels. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. What if you have a product? I do not want to sound so salesy. Well, this is the thing. If you have a product, you're selling. Right. And that's just that. That's what it is. If you have a product, you are going to have to sell. You are going to have to sound salesy. And so if you are nervous about sounding salesy, you've got to sit with yourself and ask yourself if you really want to sell your product. Because you're going to have to sound salesy. You're going to have to let people know, and this is why I do the work that I do, because there was a time where I would be so afraid to move into the selling portion of something, or like tomorrow, I'm going to invite you guys to do the live challenge along with me. Right. But when you are selling a product, one thing you have to do is you have to know that not everyone is going to want your product. And there are people that are waiting to buy your product, and you don't have to do a lot of convincing. We're not trying to convince people to buy a product. We're inviting them to use something that could change their lives, especially if you know how much it has changed yours and other people that you have sold it to or worked with. And so the other thing is, you have to believe in what you're selling or doing. You have to find a deeper reason for why people should buy your product or should use whatever it is that you have. Okay. I have had people that have done challenges with me, left their full time job and opened up their own business, right? Or have worked with me one to one and have been able to blow their business out of the water without having a business before. I know that what I'm telling you actually works. There's no if, ands, or buts. So if I invite you along a journey, it is because it's intentional. The right people will join, and the people who are not ready won't. And that's okay. Right. So I want you guys to remember that. The PTO Nomad said, I sometimes wish I had a product. It makes more sense. It feels weird selling yourself as the brand sometimes. The grass is greener, huh? Yes, the grass is greener. First of all, when you're selling yourself, you have to sell people on the things that you have done really well, or the things that you it's kind of like, okay, so one of my friends in the space, his name is Show. His account is WorkHap, and he has an amazing account. And he said something at the top of this year, or maybe it was the end of last year, where he shared, it's time for you to use your unfair advantage, right? A lot of us in here have unfair advantages. What is an unfair advantage? Something that is, listen, this is God. God did that. Okay. And so, it's God. However, if I have been able to accomplish XYZ or do XYZ and you want it, as long as you know how you've gotten there, you can share that or sell that. So the PTO Nomad, if you are selling the fact that people can, and I'm just making something up, people can live a better life, a more relaxed and engaged life because they can travel more by understanding exactly how to use their paid time off. And it's something that you've accomplished. You've got to get tired speaking about that and sharing about it. When I say that, I mean repetition is the mother of all skill, all messaging. You have to be able to say the same thing over and over and over again. And so that is what you're selling. You're selling how amazing it feels to be able to travel, how you plan your travel, how you intentionally, and like I said, I don't know if that's what you're doing, but I'm just, speaking of something. And so you have to have someone believe in the life that you are living based on the, whatever it is that you do. Does that make sense? And obviously, as you go, you'll have partnerships and such that align with that. But your goal is when you wake up in the morning to make people believe so hard. And I'm not saying lie, I'm saying use your unfair advantage, something that you've learned or something that, you're just very good at, or something, a degree that you have. Or Mitt, I always tell you, I see you in here, you're saying, ooh, I like that. I always tell you your unfair advantage is that you're a doula, but you were a nurse, or you are a nurse. You get what I'm saying? That is your unfair advantage. It's something that you should stand on heavily. So we all have unfair advantages. What is your unfair advantage? Right. So you have to figure that out, and you can package that up and sell it. So you're saying, yep, you got it. Work-life balance for women through travel, beauty, and culture. You got to wake up every day and speak about how you feel about all of those things, or speak about what you're doing, like, trust me, you are the product, and that's okay, because a lot of people definitely struggle with that. And I do want to say too, I used to struggle with that as well. I used to wish I had a product, and I created one. So I created my affirmation cards. So I have my Brave on Video affirmation cards that I created because I wanted to test out a product. And it is affirmation cards with all of the affirmations that got me to this point, right? It's so crazy when I think about it. I had so much fun, and we still ship out. We're always shipping out cards. But yes, so you can create something as well that is not like, for me, this is a loss leader, meaning that it doesn't make me a lot of money, but I know that it impacts people. If I don't have something, to speak about solidly, I come on and I read cards, but I give so much context that I'm also sharing myself. I know one of my unfair advantages is I've been able to turn shit into sugar in my life, right? And so that came from my mindset and from me using affirmations and journal and using so many tools. And so this is one of the tools I use, except they used to be on Post-its. And people buy them and are mind blown by them. And I always have them on my desk. I have them in my bag. They come in a cute little case. Like, so you can also figure out something simple if you feel like you do want a product to sell as well. Let me see what you guys are saying. Are you guys okay? Yes, Gil, use your unfair advantage, use your lived experiences. Definitely, Kaniqua. Um, Absolutely. Look at this. Faye is saying people don't realize that they lose money sometimes with PTO. Major effect, calm, nice. I think I can do this. You definitely can. You definitely can. Okay. Sugar honey iced tea, child. Okay. All right. So let's jump in. If you just came in and you feel like Zaylee, you're definitely talking the things, please give me a like, a thumbs up, something, guys. I would appreciate it. It would just let me know that I'm doing a great job here, spending time with you guys. And it would also let the platform know that they can push this out to some more people. Okay. Okay. The other thing is, well, we spoke about that. I also want to speak about, hey, Tanya. I also want to speak about, a lot of us are so scared of people seeing us start small. And I didn't have any specific, like, push or anything. I had to put myself out there. And when people or brands saw that I believed big in what I was doing, they wanted to be a part of whatever I had going on. And so that's one of the reasons why we have to show up, because people want to be around people who are moving and shaking. People want to be around people who have something going on. People want to be around people who, oh, I see what this person is doing. I want to invest in that. I want to be a part of that. And so you don't have to be afraid of being of starting small when you have something big on your heart that you are supposed to be building. Okay? And the bigger whatever it is that you are building, the harder it is going to be. And we always get to choose our hard. And when I say that, I mean hard could be how you feel right now, or hard could be, you know, what you think doing something like this is. And the last is you have big, grandiose ideas about what your show could look like instead of just starting. So I want you guys to think about that. Okay, so 2 major C words and what they really mean for your online show. The first one is competition. A lot of us are nervous about competition, right? Who here, and this is a human thing or feeling, right? You're like, whenever you see your competition, you're like, I need to take a social media break, or I'm going to log off social media, or listen, I'm not here for this today. Or it might be like, damn, I had this idea. I knew God told me to put it out, and here I am, ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Tired of yourself because it happens, right? Some of us go through that. When we think about the competition, we do a few different things. People react to competition differently, right? And so when we think about competition, I remember when competition made a lump appear in my throat. Okay. When we think about competition, you think about an event or contest in which people compete. You think about the person or people with whom one is competing, especially in a commercial or sporting arena, the opposition or the apps. Right? And this part of the topic can get a little bit touchy, guys, and it's okay. It's a human emotion that you feel, but we have to address the emotion by doing the opposite of what we think we should do. So usually when you think about competition, you think about sweaty palms, right? You think about, yes, Anthony, I'm going to speak about that. It is competition too. It's the same thing. Well, it's there. Second, right? How many people or other people are more successful than me already? So you're probably thinking, oh, this one is addressing this topic already. That one is speaking about this already. I'm not going to speak about it. No, you owe it to your legacy, to your customers, your clients, the people that you're showing up for, your community, or even your body of work to address it. So that is one thing. We might be like, well, Zaylee, like I have, I want to talk about this product, but, everybody's talking about it. Well, you haven't spoken about it. So if you're building a body of content, your body is going to be missing that piece. For example, if you're here and you read self-help books or business books, it comes to a point where everybody is saying the same thing, but yet still people are raving about the book that came out, right? And it's because the author knows that they cannot leave out this specific component because it's foundational to the body of work. How are you thinking about your body of work that you're creating? How are you thinking about your legacy that you're creating? We do not want to get caught up in creating a bunch of little specks of content like everyone is doing right now. We're trying to get away from that and create a solid foundation. Okay. You owe it to your legacy. You owe it to your client and customer base, your community. You owe it to your body of work. You owe it to what you are building. Does that make sense, y'all? I want to know because I think about things differently sometimes, and I want to make sure that I am like explaining it in a way that makes sense to you guys. Right. The PTO nomad said, I used to feel like that about competitors. It felt like someone stole from you, but I realized it was a distraction and our goals are all different. And the more that we can communicate and support each other, I think that that's even better. We're going to speak about that in a little bit because the truth is, whether we like it or not, we're all having one big conversation. And the successful people in the spaces and industry, they're okay with competition. They're okay with sitting in a room with people who are speaking the same language as them, who are sharing the same topics as them. And what they actually do is get together to figure out how can we dominate this space together. You know what? I'm just going to log off right there because I think I've done my part. I'm going to drop my mic off. I'm just saying the most successful people think like that. Okay. So I want you guys to remember that. Anthony said, I dig that part. You owe it to your body of work. Absolutely. So you have to cover it. Right. I can't lie. ShowSpeed had me in my feelings for a second, but we can all tell stories. There's room for all of us. No scarcity mindset. Absolutely. He is there to trigger you and remind you that you need to get on up and that your version is not going to look like his version. You're two different people. You're going to have two different experiences and places. And there are people that are going to follow you because you are you. And we want to hear what you have to say. Okay. So that's what I want to remind you of. We all have our people in the online space that will hear something and we'll be like, I don't care. I'm going to wait until Zaylee talks about this, or I'm going to ask Zaylee this because she knows, right? Like you could hear it from somebody else, but you're still going to come here and be like, girl, what you think about XYZ? Because I see somebody saying da da da, but what do you think? Because I want to know what you think. And you want to be that resource. Right. Kaniqua, yeah, girl, I'm just about to log off at this point. At this point, I'm about to log off. Okay. So I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. My goal is to leave you empowered because you deserve to be. Okay. The other thing is you might think that your competition is better than you already. Of course they are. They have committed. They're committed. That's the only difference. You're probably not as committed as them. In Trinidad, we say you got to give Jack his jacket. meaning that I can't be mad at this person because they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I will start seeing a change too if I stick to it long enough, if I'm consistent this time, if I really believe in what I'm doing this time, if I stop beating myself up and realizing that progress is going to look like, all different ways. I'm just saying, you really, really have to think about that. Tanya, no, I'm Aries. um, Okay. And so the other thing is, remember, a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to people that have multiple years in the game. So, of course, they've made more money than you. Of course, they're doing, you can't let that stop you. And time is changing and shifting. If you stay focused, your time is going to come. But a lot of us default that by giving up too soon, right? Sometimes we think about competition and we feel like I have to be mean, or I have to ignore the competition, or act like they don't exist. Or maybe I have to speak loudly so I can be seen. All of those things. Or the opposite. I remember years ago, I used to dumb myself down because I didn't want to step on any toes or ruffle any feathers, right? Um, every mickle mecca muckle. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Tanya. But the truth is, you don't really have competition. And a lot of us are trying too hard to reinvent the wheel. And I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying. A lot of us are trying too hard to reinvent the wheel. So if you feel like I don't have any competition at all, it might mean that you might need to rethink your show idea, right? At least it has to have some concept that people are already interested in, even a business idea. Sometimes we have a business idea that no one is dying to get into, or no one is like, oh my gosh, like, I really want that. You really have to be solving a problem, or it has to be something that people are interested in. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys, right? I think a lot of us get confused, which is, I always use this picture for confusion, y'all, because listen, the confusion is real. The thing is, you don't have to go too hard to create something that has never been done before, because you are already unique. You have not been done before, right? You're already different. And that experience of being yourself is what is going to help you to create something special. So I kind of explained to you guys some time ago, I think yesterday, actually, we spoke about this. Um, yes, I'm a camera confidence coach, but my background is completely different from a lot of people out here, right? I love to get people selling. Okay. My goal is to help you to attract an audience, build an audience so that you can sell, so that you feel good to invite people into what you have. Let me tell you something. I used to be so scared to sell. I used to be so nervous about selling. And now it is the easiest thing for me. I actually enjoy showing up to sell. But I know that when I show up to sell, I have given you so much that you could walk away and you could do what you could do, right? Or if I'm selling, you can take the invitation, and that's literally what it's about. So I know that because of my background, there are things that are different about me, right? I have some different unfair advantages from other people who are camera confidence coaches. And so it's really thinking about, like, what is different about me and my experiences? What is different about me and my unfair advantages? What is different about me and my expertise? What is different about the way I think or the way that I operate? So I want you to start thinking about that as well. Gil said, this is perfect timing for me starting an anime podcast show. Ooh, Gil, that sounds really fun. That sounds really, really exciting. And if you haven't shared what your show might be about just yet, please do. We would really love to know. right? Anthony said, that's what I like about you. It's not just get on YouTube, it's get on YouTube and get your money. Yes, absolutely. Because it's there, it's available. And I promise you, when we think about being small and starting small and all of those things, if you show up long enough, it will show up. It will happen for you. I always reference back to the guy that was doing YouTube videos, and two people were watching every week, and Oprah was one of those people. Have you guys ever seen that story? And then he ended up working for her with OWN. She would be on her private jet watching his specific videos, maybe because of the topics that he was sharing. But y'all, somebody's always watching. And so a lot of people they put up two videos and then they dip because they're like, they're comfortable with the rumination of, I know I should be putting out videos, I know I should be creating, I know I want to put content out there, I know I want to grow this business, and they rather do that than do the thing, which, if you put the reps in, the thing becomes easier and easier and easier. Come on, Anthony Paul Brunson. Yes, right? It's a true story. I'm not making it up. Stony Grandma said, I'm different than anyone I've seen, but I make my shows so crazy visually that I've had success stopping the scroll. And that is your unfair advantage, right? I love that. I love that you're sharing that. Absolutely. Tanya said, I'm an astrologist and librarian. My show idea is stacks and stars. That is interesting. That is interesting. Ooh. Gil said, I'm going to be reviewing and talking about anime series, games, and nerd culture news. I love that, Gil. I want it to be the Breaks Club of the anime world. I love that. That is so cool. What do you mean by the Breaks Club, though? School us. Gil, you got to school us. You got to let us know. Manifesting Oprah seeing my content and loving it. I love that. I love that. PTO Nomad. It's going to happen. Let's claim it. Terry said, I want to vlog, but I'm scared to pivot. Why, Terry? Why are you scared to pivot? Tell us why. I would love to know. Okay. While we're waiting for those answers, okay, let me see. I went to subscribe and I'm already subscribed. Well, Nisi, thank you for being here, friend. You're already part of the club. You're already in the studio, and you're already doing the thing, and we're happy to have you. All right, friends, let me get back over here so that we can get through everything. So I want to give you guys a checklist. Rio said, do it again. I want to give you guys a checklist for researching and validating your show in 10 minutes. P.S. If you want to join our live streaming challenge and you want all of the info, especially to see if it's for you, please get on the wait list. We have the wait list pinned above. Please do get on the wait list. Secondly, if you're enjoying this, please give me a thumbs up, friend. I would appreciate it so much, and it lets YouTube know that what I'm teaching is good. Okay, let's show it to more people. Also appreciate you for being here. I do not take that for granted. Okay, so our checklist for researching and validating your show idea in 10 minutes. We want to make sure that we're doing that. You want to ask yourself, who are the leading people in your industry? So I love that PTO Nomad has already started doing her research. She knows that iShowSpeed is somebody in her industry already. Right. So that is something that I want you to think about. Who is leading in your industry? So you have to have somebody in your industry. And sometimes I have people that come to me and they feel like they don't have people in their industry, and we work that out. It's always that you're thinking too small and you're not thinking about the bigger picture. Okay, so I want to remind you of that. Second thing is, what are the big conversations happening in your industry right now? There are so many times I speak to business owners and they're so into their own thing. Keep commenting, guys, because I'm going to come back and go through the comments. But they're so into their own thing that they don't realize that, oh my gosh, there are people, right? There are conversations that are happening. There are people having these conversations and they don't even know what's going on. Like sometimes I'll ask a business owner, what's the last book in your industry that was released? They don't know, right? Or like, what's one of the biggest things that you are thinking about when it comes to your industry right now? Like, what's the word on the streets? And they don't know. You have to know. You have to be aware of what is going on. So I want you to think about that, and you can screenshot this screen so that you have this in your phone. The other thing is, where are these conversations happening? So you're going to have to do some research, friend. You are. The other thing is, what are the four topics that keep coming up over and over and over again? If you're in the online space, AI is one of the things that people are speaking about, right? Right now in my industry, things that are coming up over and over: creator burnout. Who child? Because people are tired, right? Yes, Kaniko, threads is my way of knowing exactly what's going on. And so that's how I stay on top of like what's happening, what's going on, and all of that jazz. So find your place. Your place might be LinkedIn and not threads. So you need to know these four things. Make sure you take a screenshot. Make sure I look cute in the screenshot though, but I'm kidding. Make sure you take a screenshot so that you know. Also, what industry are you in, friend? What industry are you in? You have to be very clear on that. A lot of us sometimes don't know where to place ourselves based on what industry we're in. Of course, you want to know who are you, right? You want to spend some time with yourself, spend some time compiling your accolades and things like that. When I taught this before, we did not have AI. Now you could literally like take a screenshot of this and put it into chat GPT, right? And some of these questions can be answered. Also, what is the outcome or result that you are providing? You have to be really clear or aware of what is the result that you're providing. For example, some of us might want to have an entertainment show. And so the result might be to take people's minds off of the craziness that is happening in the world and with the government and all of these things. And so that might be your goal. Like, I just want to take people's minds off of, I just want to make people laugh a little, so they're not studying the hard things that are going on around them or overthinking, their life or just the usual things. I just want to make people laugh. And so they keep that thread above them. Like, I just want to make people laugh. I want to help people kind of just not think about all of the things that are going on. Or you might have someone and the goal of their show is to give enough information so that they are helping someone else to build their legacy, right? I want to help someone manage their mental health because, I'm a therapist or I'm a mental health advocate or something. So you have to know what your show is helping people to do. My goal for my show is visibility. And so everything falls under that umbrella, right? Because I want you to be visible so that you are able to make more money, build a brand that is recognizable, that everyone knows about. I want you to be able to do that. So whatever I speak about on this show is going to be supplemental in helping you. Anytime you tune into my show, you should leave feeling differently about how you're going to show up in the online space or in person or however it is, because it's all part of the same thing. But how am I going to show up in the online space so that I can build my brand, be much more visible, and make more money and change my life? That's what I want you guys to do, right? So I want you to think about that as well. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Of course, you want to think about things like, who are you serving and what are your business keywords? That's very important. In my memberships, I talk about keywords all the time. Next thing, what is your big idea? Right? Start with a main idea. Don't get hung up on your show title. That can change and shift. Okay. And it's okay if you change it and shift it, especially if you're on the smaller scale or start, right? And I want you to ask yourself, what is the umbrella industry for your online business? So I use the example of virtual assistants, right? So a virtual assistant is someone who is going to help people become super organized and provide relief. I probably have the wrong thought about a virtual assistant, or the wrong, y'all get what I'm saying. So virtual assistants don't come for me and tell me I don't do that. But this is just an example. So a virtual assistant might tell me, well, Zaylee, I don't know what to do with YouTube. I don't know how to start on YouTube because I don't know my niche specifically, right? Like, what is my umbrella industry? So for a virtual assistant, maybe you're serving online business owners. And so that is a space on YouTube, right? Or maybe you're a virtual assistant and you're trying to, speak to other virtual assistants. So maybe you're serving online course creators, online coaches, influencers, or maybe all of the above. And then when you start to dig into it, you start to dig into the layers, you start realizing, oh, there is a space of people who talk about digital products on YouTube. There are other virtual assistants who are looking for help in growing their virtual assistant business on YouTube. And so that's where you're able to, plant yourself or plant your show, right? So, yes, Kaniqua said my channel started off as a virtual assistant channel. Yes, Kaniqua. I remember that. And it's so beautiful to see you bloom. I always tell you that. Okay, guys. So, keywords are key. So, for that person, they might, if their audience that they're trying to attract to grow their own business, they might be keywording online business owners, online course creators, small businesses, digital products, online coaches, influencers. They can go even deeper if they want to work for fashion influencers. It really depends, right? And so you can get into YouTube and start typing in those things. So, for example, here we have virtual assistant training, virtual assistant jobs from home, virtual assistant jobs. Now, guys, remember this was a few years ago. So, this search might have changed, especially with the boom of COVID and such, because I've told you guys before, I've been teaching these things for years. Okay. I'm just not coming out. I know what I'm telling you front to back, inside out. So keep that in mind. And so you start doing your research, you start digging in. So if there's nothing that you take from tonight, research is always going to be key because it's going to guide you. A lot of times we think we know, right? Thanks for coming through, DJ Infinity. Sometimes we think we know, but we don't really know, right? So I want to remind you guys of that. So I want you to make sure that you're looking for other shows that might be similar to yours. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but you want to make sure that there's an audience for it already. I saw Gil talking about the Breakfast Club. If we think about the Breakfast Club, yes, it is is it Power 105? Yes. No, is it? Yes, I think so. But so it's a show for them. It started like that. Now it's its own beast, right? And so I always reference them because I'm a New Yorker. But I want to remind you guys that there are other channels that cover the same topics like the Breakfast Club. And so a lot of people who watch the Breakfast Club might also watch the Joe Budden podcast, or they might also watch the Rory and Mal show. They watch things that are subsets. It's one big conversation. And that's why I'm telling you guys there's a conversation happening in your industry. There's conversations happening in the art space. There's conversations happening in the travel world. There's conversations happening, and the best way to get people to pay attention to you is to tap into those topics as well, right? We want to hear from you as well. If you can't find anything at all, then it's going to be difficult to grow your audience. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Am I fulfilling the promises that I made for you to come to class? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. I want to know if you guys are learning something. How are you guys feeling? We're going to touch on community, and then we are going to start wrapping up, y'all, right? But I want to make sure that, I'm getting my promise in there. Okay, so we're going to tap back in. Community is really important. Focus on the people and you will build your community. Focus on yourself and you will stay stuck, friend. I want to remind you of that. Focus on the community. Focus on the people. You will build a community. Focus on yourself only and you will stay stuck. I'm not lying. Okay. So The people that are in your community, your goal is always to give them solutions. You have to know, what are they struggling with? And you can put this into AI too, literally. Like, what are these people interested in? What are they struggling with? What do they need to hear? What tools are they using? What does a day look like for them? What are they searching for over and over? What mind state does your show put them in? Like, is it more laid back and they're more relaxed, or is it that, they're, you know, they're coming to learn and open up their minds? Like, what is your show providing for them? Okay, so I see a comment here saying, do you cover production as well? We have a full membership where all we do is talk about production, literally. Right. However, tomorrow I'm also releasing a video on how I use Riverside to do all of the things that we're also talking about too. So I'm speaking about how you can create different pieces of content from your live stream, how you can live stream, how you can multi-stream to different platforms. That video is going to cover that. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and make sure you have your notifications turned on. So when that video comes out, you can see it. And I also have a code in there for you to try out Riverside as well. So just letting you guys know, it doesn't have to be very difficult at all. You can start this as a one-man show, right? So I do have a full membership where we speak about equipment and all of that stuff. The information for it is down in the description box if you're on YouTube. So just letting you know, if you're on Instagram and you're watching, you just have to comment the word spotlight and it'll send you all of the information. Thank you so much, Legacy and Lens. You guys are so amazing. Super, super grateful for you guys being here. Okay. So, right, listen, the hubby is in the building and he's killing it. um and so we're super grateful for him, right? He's definitely back there running the show behind the scenes. Okay, so you have to, you hold on, let me see what this is saying. Okay, let's talk about the one thing that could change. So this is the last part. It could change how you look at having your own show forever, right? And when you think about creating a show that you would want to watch, that is where you can really make your show even more special. For everyone who has shared with us about their show, I know I might have missed some of you guys because we're going through the presentation as well, but what do you feel would make people want to watch your show specifically or tune into your live streams? And it could be your unfair advantage. Remember, we spoke about that? We spoke about using our unfair advantage. Yep, because one of my friends at WorkHap said that show. He's so amazing. And when he said it, I was like, oh, okay, I like that. Right? So what do you feel like could be like so different about your show that is going to be different from other people's? I would love to know if you guys are thinking about it in that way. And obviously, we're speaking about the you in your show, right? So everything that you've been through in your journey, right, is, hold on, guys, 1 second. I lost one of my screens here. Everything that you've been through in your journey is going to help your show to stand out. Your experiences are different from everyone else's. Where you come from, things that you've been through, all of that is completely different. And your community is struggling with the things that you actually do have solutions for. So I don't want you guys to continue overthinking what you can put out there. So some of the things that you've been through really have prepared you for your own show. And that is what can really change the game for you right now. So for example, I used to be an influencer. I had a full blown YouTube channel. It's still out there in the wild. And, I would put content onto this channel all of the time until what happened was my channel began to grow so quickly. YouTube reached out and they started inviting me to in-person workshops. This was years ago. This was like 2014 or 2015, somewhere there. And so I already knew I was going to shift and pivot and start talking more about video, but they really wanted me to go along, the lines of influencing and keeping that kind of content going because YouTube loves when you keep people on their platform. And I decided I wasn't going to stick with that channel and I was going to pivot, and I did, y'all. Thank God it worked out, and I have a YouTube partner again. But these are it was something that I was afraid of. Like, they were like, if you pivot, you're going to lose your YouTube partner. I'm like, I got this. I'm going to get back a partner. And I did. And I love the lane that I'm in now. However, I was influencing, I was putting out beauty content, I was putting out content about my hair and all of those things. All of that prepared me to start, teaching about making videos, because I would make videos and people would be like, oh my gosh, what are you using? Why does your video look so good? All of that. And so I started teaching all of this stuff. I started sharing with people how they could build their sets. This was years ago, guys. My first set was in our tiny Brooklyn apartment. My husband and I lived together, and I took over the kitchen and the living room, and I started telling him about this dream that I'm having about all the things I want to do. And he was like, yeah, okay. Right. But we laugh about that all the time. And so if you look at this, you'll see, like, I was sitting in the living room. We had a little folding table. You can see it behind me with my computer on it. I had a little makeshift backdrop. I had a ring light that I paid like $300 or $400 for, because ring lights were so expensive at that time. And I would take my little pictures and I would, create my videos. Can you believe, like, come on, people around me in my immediate circle thought I was crazy. Okay. They thought I was absolutely insane. And so then I moved to Dallas and I took my ring light with me. Okay, I took a few things. I had one little suitcase. I ordered everything for my new apartment from Amazon and I made sure, and I took that ring light because that ring light started making me money. I said, oh no, I got to take the ring light along with me, right? It's so funny. I thought you guys were seeing the full screen of everything that's going on. So let me just go back. Of course, this was me in my influencing days. We're going to skip back. Sorry about that, guys. And, and so then I started teaching. My little setup is probably what I missed showing you guys. And then here is me in Dallas, right? So I got the ring light, brought it here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, listen, life is going to keep changing. Companies started reaching out, brands started reaching out. I did a pivot. And, I was so excited and elated about it all. I could not believe what my life was unfolding into. Like I said before, started working with partners. I started, this is one of the biggest summits in the online space for a while. I was teaching, I was doing all the things. And so you guys are here with me now, but this is just a little journey of it all. All of this can be combined into, when I think about all the things I went through, all of this is a part of my journey. That's what's going to make me different from another coach that's talking about camera confidence and such. It's completely different. Everyone's journey is different. And I get stressed out sometimes. But I want to remind you that everyone's journey is just different. And so you now have to go back through your journey and see what is possible. And I did all of this with a micro audience, okay? Super tiny audience, but very impactful. I was very intentional. And so I want to know from you, like, what is your superpower? So I kind of walked you through some of the superpowers that I gained along the way, things that I picked up, whether it was production skills, learning about tech, learning how to do my own makeup. All of those things are a part of my journey. Selling online courses, selling out programs, hosting masterminds. I've done all of those things, y'all. And I've made a lot of money in the online space, and I am super grateful that I have had the opportunity to impact people in that way, right? So what is your superpower? And I have some old superpowers here from some amazing people. Some people are detail oriented. Some people can turn nothing into something. This is Joy. Ginger said she's an Imagineer, a dreamer, and a creator. Like, what do you think is your superpower? I want to know from you guys. What is your superpower? What is your unfair advantage, basically? Right? Kanigwa said Thinkific Summit was huge. Yes, we were trailblazing. Okay, which is so funny. The PTO Nomad met you through Shade. Exactly, right? Which was literally, I think, powered by Google, if I'm not mistaken, which was such a great experience. Glare out of my glasses, I just make sure to have my lighting above my head, literally. So sometimes I'm back there on my bigger set, and you can see that's an overhead light right here. I have a free course coming out soon where I'm showing you this tiny setup, and I break it down completely so that you can see the back end of this. But I have a desk light that is right above my head, and then my camera is right in front of me. So my glasses is not my glasses is occasional they're occasionally catching glare from a side light that I have here, but it's not like, that other light, right? YouTube partners. So YouTube sometimes picks random channels that they're interested in and they will give you a YouTube partner. So years ago, I had a YouTube partner from one of my I have had like 4 or 5 YouTube channels, y'all, which is wild. And so if they're interested in your growth, your topic, like they will invest in you in that way. They'll give you a YouTube partner. So, yeah. And they'll invite you to like YouTube events and things like that. So you'll have like, those kinds of experiences. Gil said connection. Not many people have the unnecessary anime knowledge and passion I could see that, Gil. I'm excited for you. And there's a rabid audience for that. So I know it will do well. Hey, Norman. I help individuals and organizations break through stagnation, regain momentum, and rise to new levels of growth and impact. I love it. The PTO Nomad said, I struggle with this. What makes my show so different? Like I know it's me, but wonder if it's marketable. It is. There are things about you that are already marketable. I think it's more of sitting down with yourself. Or, you know what I did some time ago? I asked ChatGPT like about myself. And when chat was done pulling from the internet, I couldn't believe I was reading about myself, even though everything was true. so so that's something that you could think about. Judy said your photos show how important it is to take progressing shots for memory and history. Guys, my first course that I ever sold was called gosh, it was I had an account called the Soulful Selfie because I was very good at taking selfies. Um I think it was called Self Portraits That Sell. I have to go into to think of it because it's still there, but taking photos is so important. And I have never really had a photographer take photos of me. I do self portraits, or Rio takes photos of me. He's taken photos of me for years, but that's something that I do want to get back into as well. Curls of a CPA. I love that name. I make people feel seen, and that is a skill, and it's a beautiful thing. Gil said, my superpower is tech production and public speaking and communicating with people. I used to be a youth pastor and technology lead at my church. Wow, Gil, that is amazing. And it's so cool to learn more about you. That is absolutely amazing. And so, because of that, you can use those skills to create a whole different experience for your people with your show. Look at how many superpowers you have in here. We want to see those amplified in the show. um, Legacy, Legacy and Len said that ring light should be in the African American Museum. Listen, guys, I gave away that ring light like 3 months ago. We were moving and I gave it to the guy who was moving because he told me his sister wanted to become an influencer, and I gave it to him. I have never even seen his sister, but I shared with him like, this light has made me so much money. Like I'm gifting it to her. I hope she really uses it. But you never know. But I finally gave it away. That light has traveled everywhere with me. Stony Grandma said, 50 years of acting like a goofball. No fair. That's a big superpower, Stony Grandma, and I hope you dig into it. Anthony said his superpower is connecting the dots in seemingly unrelated things to help people move past challenges in life and business. That is amazing, Anthony. I can definitely see that too. Miss Susie said, I am a great listener. Ooh, Mitt, I love that. Love, love, love that. That is a superpower for sure. Hey, Norman, I see you moved over to the YouTube channel. Okay, let's see. Cheryl said 27 years as a professor and therapist. I now bring what all of that I now bring all of that into coaching and teaching, helping professionals to have their own businesses with what they know. That is amazing, Cheryl. Come on, the PTO Nomad, not the PTO Nomad, said gift of prophecy, women's intuition, my ADHD creativity, news reporter experience on the physical, a natural premature silver streak. Didn't you just say you don't know what you're? Look at these superpowers. Look at these superpowers. Oh my gosh. Imagine that's the person that's guiding you around the world and traveling with you and showing you how to use your PTO in a specific way and showing you culture. And girl, I asked ChatGPT about myself and I think we broke. See, Nisi, listen, that is hilarious. Okay. Yes, Anthony, self portraits. I'm starting back to do them too because I just got a new camera and I've kind of started already, but I am going to continue. And let me tell you something. You guys are in here killing it tonight. Okay. I'm just saying it's such a beautiful thing to see, what you guys are sharing. Nicole said, my superpower is helping women earn promotions and advance their careers. My superpower is that I have over a decade of experience navigating corporate and leading recruiting teams for Tesla. Nicole, especially in this time, the people, they need you. They need you. Okay. They need you. I'm just going to leave it like that, y'all. Okay. All right. So literally, I love that you guys took the time to share so much with me, right? And you've shared a lot of these things that I've asked, right? And I'm so grateful that you guys are here sharing. And so I hope I kept up my promise to you guys. I promised to go through the two major C words and what they really mean for your online show. We spoke about that checklist for researching and validating your show in 10 minutes. Take some time later on. I hope you did some screenshots so that you're able to go through them. Also, we spoke about the one thing that could change how you look at having your own show forever. That thing is you, friend. We literally sat down and spoke about our superpowers, our unfair advantages, the things that we know people are looking at and people are like, "Oh my gosh, this person is really good at this." Tomorrow we're going to do a special case study so that you can understand what being prepared for a show or to show out is all about. We're going to speak about how to create content that puts you in a winning place. Of course, I'm going to share my personal workflow, no matter how small you think you are. Okay. And then I'm going to share my specific formula for creating your online show. Listen, we are going to have a good time. Are you coming? I want to know down below. I asked you guys last night. You guys showed up. Okay. Let me tell you, I want to know, are you coming? Are you coming? Will you be here? Especially with me sharing what we're covering tomorrow. I love this, Norman. Norman said, it's crazy that I spoke about the cards tonight. Norman said, I'm still not comfortable in front of the camera, but your affirmation cards are getting me through it. Norman, I'm so grateful that you purchased those. Super, super, super excited to see you do even more on camera. I literally just spoke about them. And wait, I just also got a notification that you sent a super chat. No, Norman, thank you so much. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Let me tell you something about my people. You guys are just the best. I always appreciate you guys, especially the people that just are always coming through, especially over the years. let me tell you, when I speak about my community, I have to boast about you guys because I am so blessed to have the community that I have. Super, super grateful to you guys. P.S. You guys, we also just finalized Bali. If you have been wanting to travel and create content or learn how to document, we are going to Bali in September. My husband and I will be teaching you how to use your camera, how to document, how to capture, how to create content. If that is something that you're interested in and you want to spend 7 days with us, please, please keep your eyes peeled because we'll be releasing 8 spots soon. So if that's something that you're interested in September, we would love, love, love to have you. I just remembered that. So let us know. Give me a yes if that is something that you might be interested in. We are traveling and teaching, and it's going to be 7 days. It's going to be a mixture of workshops and like as we travel, like showing you how we would create, how we would shoot. You could bring any camera of your choice. We're going to help you figure out how to use it. And we are so, so, so excited about that. Guys, it was so amazing talking to you tonight. I can't say how much I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and chit chatting. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Um, so, so, so exciting to release that. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you so, so, so much. Anthony said on the topic of small, I go back to the thought if you have 100 people watching, it's a full house, standing room only at a live jazz show. Absolutely. It is. It really is. You're not lying. And truth be told, if I was in a room of 100 people right now, I would be shaking in my boots. Okay. I'm just saying. Judy said, yes, Lord's will, I'll be there. Thank you to you and Rio for your time and knowledge. Same to you, Judy. We would love, love, love to have you. Guys, I appreciate you so, so, so much. Are you going to be here tomorrow? I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And I really, really love and appreciate you guys. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Oh my gosh. Hey, Faye, I'm just seeing you here. I love you guys. Hey, living with the Barons. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tanya. You guys are so awesome. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, Kaniqua. Bye. Bye, y'all. Love you guys.